Ewe wekene kwa mon. Ema wanji wete this video no ebe na feba. Biko bu ni subscribe kabara subscribe na wa channel biko bu notification ge kiwe wekene nweta notification bo na I post a video for. Imeji wete this video. Obu no mu akulu ni ase no onye na eju ka kulia. Neji he deceive ndo ka deceive we manipulate you no na aka wa. Mwanji wete this video so that impression of not giving ear, that impression of people who put on us no more a salon or basatalogi. In my one, we see name is I wouldn't be one of the most spiritual people on earth. And me quick say, if I wouldn't be the most spiritual people on earth. You need the Romari Kawalagi the existence of Ndebo because it is already in the Bible. In Aguago. It's already in the Bible in Anguago. Bible make na mgbe because the way in the Bible is brainwash in the Bible tasike above no Adam and Eve were the only men in the on earth kedeka has we mutant Igbo kedeka no Bible make that na mgbe Eve major God caused the earth because of Eve because why enwego ndị no outside that garden of Eden ihe na call gbe ihe me within the garden of Eden because God wanted to bring man into his own fullness of light and the life of man and his lifestyle into men. So he started that experiment with Adam and Eve, and unfortunately again they corrupted the race. So there are people living outside the Garden of Eden. Mgbe Adam and Eve happened, they saw people. That was when we Cain Bull Abel or Sibikokwa. Kandi madagali ibuye mahafeya. So which means now people are also living on earth. Obuno also someone he will not be bothered. Because after all here boy, here no. Menen the video kuno fika wana mukishwe kowa yedeka. Bad luck, uke and all those things. Kima yes, na ikwesili mata this thing. Oswa gine ejoka mana momenana. These are part of the spiritual things ikwesili as onye Igbo mad na enwele ihe mele ndị Igbo ji webole ndị Igbo. Oboro ordinary thing ya ma onye Igbo pataketa ibido with 1,000 in 2 years inwego 1 million. Onwele something did there. Something the onwele ha ji webole Igbo today. And oboro agwa. Kodekwan.
Have you noticed there are some people that no matter how much they pray, no matter how much juju they do, they tend to be very unlucky. That even when others do 4 plus 4 is 8, when they do 4 plus 4, they tend to get 10, get 11. I want to tell you a true life story of how and why many people are in bondage without knowing. Maka wana awuni ihe gbu ogoli ya na nwa. Oja wana nwata buru mma uzo. Ya bụ onwe ya na ọsọ mgbukwe ni uzo kwukwe zo ya ahụ. I want to tell you a true life story about a kinsman, one of my kinsmen from my community, who was very rich in the early 80s. He was a very successful businessman. There was one of our kinsmen who was a part of his homo boy, those who served under him. They served him, he settled them. Many of them were doing well. Some encountered a lot of unfortune, or we are very much unfortunate, especially one. One, after many years, about 20 years of struggling, trying to make it in that line of business, everything tends to be going wrong. No matter how well he does, no matter how the permutation he does, he tends to be very unlucky. After 20 years of struggling, his father, an old man who was now very frail, he was no longer strong. He embarked on a journey to find out the reason why his son, who after about 20 years of serving this my kinsman, was still not doing well, was still getting the wrong result. He went through the church, he went through the traditional means. And all fingers was pointing at this my kinsman. He was very rich back in the days. Some persons from my community may know him. He built a big house back in the days close to a popular church in my community. This is a boy who served him. After many years struggled, his father now, who has undergone a journey to find out the reason why the situation is like this, all fingers was pointing at this my kinsman, who happened to be his organ in the early 80s. This was after 20 years of serving this my kinsman. native doctors, prophets, whoever, sorcerers, we are all pointing hands that what is happening to him is emanating from his organ, my kinsman. So his father summoned courage. An old man in his about 90s, but he was still strong. He took this his son, who was now an adult, like a grown-up man, took him to this his organ. By the time they got there, his organ, he's not currently having sight issues. He can't see very well, but he can still see, but not as good as somebody who doesn't have an eye problem. When they got there, he told the man, look at this, my son, who served you many years ago. He has been struggling. Things are not going well for him. And all the places I've gone in the past and in recent time, they have pointed hands that what is happening to him is emanating from you. That the one holding him back. My kinsman did not deny it. He smiled and only asked the boy, do you remember back in the days while we were in Aba, while we were trading? Do you remember there was a day you were washing one of my cars, a 504 Peugeot vehicle? Do you remember seeing 10 naira notes at the passenger side of that vehicle? You took it. You spent it. The boy took his mind back and remembered that particular day. Because back then, 10 naira was actually something. So he vividly remembered the day he was washing my kinsman's car back in those days in Aba. And he saw 10 naira notes on the floor of the passenger side of the vehicle. And he took it without telling the man, and he spent it. The man told him that is the genesis of his problem. That it was on that very day he traded whatever success he had, whatever destiny of succeeding or chances of succeeding. That was the day he traded it, the day he picked up that money. And that is what is holding him down to that very moment. He didn't deny that he was not the one holding him, but he told him how it happened. He struggled, the way manager went inside and brought us something and told him to kneel down, maybe let him see what he can do about it. He started uttering words, trying to see a way, blessing him, telling him it shall be well with him, this and that. But one now can't deliver what deliver. When you put battery, motor now sat for many years. Many things they may be. Pesla race when you can't knock. In your further electrical and one anemia because for many years battery up on a motor function like that. He prayed for him, but I don't know till today. That man did not recover from that thing. Even after that, my kinsman did that thing in the way of maybe undoing whatever that he did. Many of you are talking. Many people today who are in bondage because out of unnecessary hunger, they have picked something that doesn't belong to them, that belong to people who have things that are protecting their properties. Those who are in covenant with some certain things. There are many wealthy people today. The money they have, they're in covenant with some elements, some spirits, some high forces who are protecting those particular wealth. They are in covenant that if you take anything that belongs to them without their consent, that let all the forces around them try to steal from you too. So if you are somebody who is not operating in a high vibration frequency, immediately you take anything that belongs to them without their consent, you are tying yourself immediately. You are exchanging something. Immediately you steal from them. They may be in covenant that if you steal 1 million from them, let the forces around them go. Even if you don't have it presently, they should go in your future, go in your destiny, and take 20 million out of it. That if you keep on struggling, you keep on having misfortune. The more misfortune you have, the more fortunate they become. The more money they have, the more broke you become, the more rich they become. Some people may think that I'm being superstitious here. It happens. You start seeing yourself diminishing until you pay back. You struggle, the more you struggle, the more they become wealthy. And some of you will maybe on your way, you see maybe money lying on the floor. You think that somebody maybe mistakenly dropped it, or maybe the thing fell out from somebody's pocket. Sometimes those money you see on the road are intentionally kept there. And when you have pay bomb na libo, ye patai wore go ekuchoku ku gale me here aya e wuri anya me no ni shinga chan ga to boy no zo je bomb bro gale. Some of you so one we get today, the problem you're having is because of the money you picked on the road. I'm not saying that every money you see on the road, everything you see on the road that you pick, that you're going to be in trouble. Some of you have things backing them without even knowing. Some of you, your father, your mother is doing some things behind your back to protect you. So when others do some things, you do it, you seem to go scot-free, not because what you have done has no implication, but because there are maybe some high frequencies, emanating from your parents or from your ancestral land that is protecting you, and you feel that you're unlucky, that you're unshakable, or that what you have encountered is not potent or has nothing to do with maybe holding you down. Some of you that one of the lucky, and when he handed I am one I got on you, ono nwere ike ono wuru ngwere oke so no ma mmiri akọ ya akọ no gida akọ oke o ji awụ na oke so ngwere akọ ma mmiri akọ ngwere da akọ oke enwere ihe nwere ụfọdụ n'ime ụlọ pụtara n'ụzọ tụtụ ihe enweghị ihe mere ndị ọda tụtụ ha atọ because onwe ike their will is not as strong as your own. So some of you na-apụta n'ụzọ nwe ihere ya nwere ebe ndị mmadụ na-akpachapụ anya ọgaranya na-akpachapụ anya were ego deme n'ụlọ ya ka nwa gị ezo ya ozugbo gị tọkịrị ozugbo ahụ izu na you exchange a lot of things. Onye bụ ịkọrọ nnọkọta abịa na bịa kọrọ ọnụ ka inwe ike dị ka afọ ka inwe ike mara akọ na ọ dị ihe ọla na-atọ ụtọ ka na-eri ọ dị ihe ọla anya hụrụ ka ọ na-ewe ọ dị ihe ọla aka wetali ka ọ na-ewe otu shari enwere mgbe m demere ụfọdụ ihe ndị demere dị valuable so m ndochi abịa zuo onye literally I was angry iwe na-egwe m bịa bịa kpọwa ezumezu kpọwa mmụọ na-eche mkpọwa ma sakọle my spiritual guys ha mechasị m o chefuru ha mgbe eshue I've been monitoring some of them mere ihe enweta ha fọrọ ha mana ha far with me ha mgbe eshi ahụ ihe me ha mere many of them they paid it times 10 ozugbo ha werele ihe me afterwards but ọ dị ha ga-abịa kọwa nga but what I'm trying to tell you ka ihe dị nka ọ dị ọlị hụrụ ngodo ọ dị ọlị hụrụ ngọ ọgaranya ka ị na-ewe ọ dị ọlị hụrụ ka ị chere ọgaranya chefuru na ọ tụfuru atụfu na ọmadị ihe o mere mgbe ụfọdụ ha mara amadị ihe mgbe ụfọdụ ego ị hụrụ n'ụzọ those valuables you are seen on the road were intentionally kept there ka inwe ike tụtụrụ ụgalị ụfọdụ ji egbu mgbe ụfọdụ ndị ọrịa na-arịa chronic illness terminal illness eji egbu mgbe mechia rituals mere after doing those rituals they drop those things and give people again nọ na nsogbu mana aka ọwụdụ ihe ọbụla aka na-atụ ụtalị ka ọ na-atụtụrụ ọwụdụ ihe ọbụla anya hụrụ ka ọ ga-ewe ọwụdụ ihe ọbụla masịrị gị ga-awụke gị when you are around people, wealthy people, when you are around some people, when you are moving on the road, be mindful of what you pick. Be mindful of what you collect in people's houses without seeking consent, without asking who owns this. I answer that I'm calling the time. Injury Bob Wagon combo. Now, only Buogoliana, young one. I didn't go up again. I hadn't give people battery. Mother, you on a cock. Mother, you on a Kamuta papa, and then one edition. I can't go to an ambido. Nwata bụrụ mma nwuzo ya bụ onwe ya n'ọsọ mmanwụ buru ụzọ nkwukwe ezo ya ahụ ọmụ maazị General Ikenga ala ha ga-akọrọ gị eziokwu nọ n'ọdịnala nọ n'ụwa ka a mara akọ na echitagharị mma rịrị ga ụbọchị mmanụ ọnụ mma